12 inch, 13 inch, or 14 inch. How much can you handle? Stay tuned, we're going to tell you. Hey, it's Chase and we're back with another Legend Tech Tuesday, and in this video we're going to be talking specifically about shock length, which one you need for your bike and what's best for certain applications. So on the table here you've got a 12 inch, 13 inch, and a 14 inch shock. And are you new here? I'm pretty sure I haven't seen you before. If you are new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That's going to let you know every time we post one of these videos, and it will update you so that you know when we put out new content. Back to our scheduled programming. 12, 13, 14. They've got different travel lengths, different factory motorcycles come with different factory length of shocks. So depending on the length of shock that you're trying to achieve or the seat height that you're trying to achieve, you're gonna want to select your shock according to that. Now, a lot of touring models, 17 and newer, come with a 12 inch shock. In most cases, you can go with something like a 13, and the advantage there is going to be that you're going to add additional suspension travel. On motorcycles that don't have a lot of suspension travel to begin with, anytime that you can add some additional, it's going to give you more plushness and a bigger range of suspension adjustment, which is overall generally going to give you a smoother ride. All of these shocks ride good. It's just a matter of what you're looking for. For instance, if you have an 18 Street Glide and it comes with a 12 inch shock and you in no way, shape, or form want that seat any taller than what it is right now, you can go with something like a 12 inch shock, 2 inches of travel. When the sag is set, it's going to be sitting at 11.5 inches. Where the comparison comes in is a 13 inch shock is going to have 3 inches of travel, so 1 additional inch. But when this sag is set, because it has more travel, it has a bigger sag range. And this shock is going to be able to actually sit at 12 inches, center bolt to center bolt. 12 inches the length of shock that you have now. You don't get a lot of compression out of factory shocks. So in a lot of cases, you can actually put a 13 inch shock on a bike that had a 12 inch shock and be sitting almost at the exact same height, but with gained suspension travel. Now, if you hop off the bike, this suspension is going to uncompress slightly, generally about a half of an inch or so. So you will have a slight increase in your seat height there, but you're not going to notice that as much as you're going to notice the extra inch of suspension travel you've got. 2-up applications, if you can afford it seat height wise, if the difference in this half inch here at 11.5 inches versus this sitting at 12 is a minute thing to you, then go with 13 inch shocks because you're going to get the extra travel, and that's going to be awesome, especially for 2-up riding. That is going to be by far, the most recommended shock that we have is generally a 13 on touring models, because you bought that bike because you're looking for comfort, you're looking for performance. You can achieve that with all of our shocks, but if you're asking us generally which one we recommend going with, it's mainly the 13. Now, should you need a 12 inch shock or you just need to get as low as possible, this is a great riding shock. We don't make anything that is just, we make that one, but it's just okay. This is a very, very comfortable shock, but by the normal rules of suspension, anytime you can go a little bit longer, you're going to get a little bit more travel, and that's going to equate to a bigger plushness range. This will still get the job done for you, still preload adjustable. Half inch on this one, and this one is 1 inch, and that's due to the difference in suspension travel. We also have a 14 inch option, and as you can see, it is very, very similar to the 13 inch shock. This top loop is what has changed. So travel stays the same, works within the factory geometry of your swing arm, but this is going to increase the ride height of your bike as well as your lean angle. So these we don't have a fitment for on the FLs, but we have them for Sportsters, FXRs, Dynas, and you can put this on there if you're looking to gain some additional seat height, ground clearance, A lot of stunt riders tend to like a taller shock because as they lean in to do something, they're not necessarily scraping up their bike as much. If you're riding really aggressive and you want to raise that bike up off the ground as much as possible for cruising through canyons, the taller shock you move is going to net you some ground clearance so that you're getting a better lean angle. That pretty much covers the length options. We do have several different models of 13 and 14 inch shocks for basically all of the bikes, because we've got the Revo, Revo A, and the Revo Arc line, and those all have minute spec changes to them. So if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot us an email. Check in with your local motorcycle shop. They're happy to let you know. Last little note here on the 14 inch shock is anytime on just about any bike, if you're looking at doing a 14 inch shock, the first thing that you want to double check is going to be can you actually fit this shock on your bike? When you are raising your two mount points to 14 inches, generally you're probably going to make contact somewhere. On an FL model, generally the axle nut is going to contact the muffler before 14 inches can actually be achieved. You need a short enough exhaust so that that axle nut can clear past that muffler so you can get your mount points far enough apart to put a 14 inch shock on there. Same goes for Dynas as well. You're going to just run into the bottom of the shock mount or the bottom of the shock, and it will contact your exhaust basically before you can get this to a length where you can actually put it on the bike. So make sure you check the correct length of what you're getting. It's always best to measure your shocks first to make sure that you know specifically what length you have. Some bikes come with 13s, some come with 12. So if you measure center to center, you're going to be able to know exactly what length of shock you have and figure out if you need to go up or down in your ride height, or if you're at a 12 and you want 13 because there's more travel. You're going to be able to make a good educated decision based off of knowing what you've got and what you can go to, or what your tolerance range is to gain the extra travel, or if you need to get lower, or if you're looking to get really tall and making sure you have the correct clearance. Hit us up if you have any questions. Again, that's service@legendsuspensions.com, or check in with your motorcycle shop, and we'll see you next time. What length do you get? Can't decide? Dang it. Which ones do you fucking get? How the fuck do you know? I'm gonna fucking tell you. That's a load of horse sugar. Trying to figure out if you need a 12 or 13 or 14 inch beep. I said shock. Why did you beep it? Put on the bloops.